Look at your wife. She just hit 40. You think you're settled, cozy, secure? You're wrong. You're standing on ground zero of a psychological time bomb, and you're about to find out what every man needs to know, but nobody dares to tell him. The true, terrifying secrets women over 40 desperately hide from their husbands. It's not about a new haircut or a few extra wrinkles. This is about a primal, instinctual panic kicking in. Her biological clock isn't ticking anymore. It's a deafening siren screaming about lost value and a vanishing youth. And in that raw, desperate moment, a shadow side emerges. A dark psychology focused entirely on self-preservation, no matter the cost to you. Have you noticed the sudden, frantic focus on her social media life? The need for external validation from strangers? That's not a hobby, it's a market test. She's looking to see if the lights still come on outside of your predictable relationship. The quiet lunches with friends that are getting longer? They're often covert strategy sessions with a coven of miserable divorced women who are cheering her on to blow up your stable life just to join their misery. She's building a secret life right under your nose. Small lies about money, big lies about her time, and the biggest lie of all, that she's still completely invested in the future you built together. She's pulling away, creating emotional distance, a necessary shield so that when the inevitable crisis hits, she doesn't feel the guilt of the betrayal as she walks out the door. You are no longer the lover, the partner. You are the comfortable cage she suddenly feels trapped in, and her instinct now is to escape. You need to know how to spot the early warning signs, the sudden intense vanity, the need for new attention, the casual contempt she suddenly throws your way. If you don't wake up now, if you ignore this brutal truth, you will be left standing in the wreckage of your own life, wondering how you missed the explosion. This is the ultimate wake-up call for every man who thinks his marriage is safe. What she's hiding will destroy everything. Are you ready for the truth? Keep reading, because the next thing you learn will change how you look at her forever. The panic, her secret enemy. For many women, there comes a moment in life that is not about a new hairstyle, an extra wrinkle, or a change in fashion. It is something much deeper, something that shakes the core of her identity. This moment is when the quiet ticking of her biological clock is no longer a gentle reminder, but a deafening alarm. It is not about simply getting older, it is about the fear of losing what she has been told is her greatest value: her youth, her beauty, her freshness. From a young age, society teaches women that their worth is tied to how they look and how much attention they can draw. Compliments, admiration, and desire become fuel for their self-esteem. Youth is celebrated as their power. But as years pass, something begins to change. The compliments slow down, the stares fade, and the sense of being wanted begins to slip away. What replaces it is not peace or acceptance, but a rising sense of panic. This panic is not visible to the outside world. She may smile, put on makeup, and post pictures online as if everything is fine. But deep inside, there is a storm. Every glance in the mirror feels heavier. Every wrinkle is not just a wrinkle. It is a reminder that time is winning. Every line around her eyes whispers, "Your value is fading." The panic grows stronger when she compares herself to younger women. She remembers how it felt to be the center of attention, to have endless options, to feel chosen. Now she feels those days slipping further away, replaced by fear of being overlooked, ignored, or replaced. This fear is not about vanity alone. It is about survival in a world that has taught her that beauty equals security, that youth equals love. And here is where men often misunderstand. The stable, reliable man thinks he is her safe place. He believes his loyalty, his consistency, and his presence will always matter to her. But when this panic sets in, he risks becoming invisible. To her panicked mind, he is no longer the strong anchor. He is part of the furniture. Familiar, predictable, boring. And when fear is in control, she does not want safety. She wants to feel alive again. She wants proof that she is still valuable, still desired, still powerful. This is why her secret enemy is not another woman, not her partner, not even the natural process of aging. Her real enemy is the panic that whispers in her ear. The panic tells her she is running out of time. The panic tells her that every birthday is a loss. The The panic tells her that if she does not act now, by changing partners, chasing excitement, or reinventing herself, she will vanish into irrelevance. The truth is, this panic can destroy more than her peace of mind. It can damage her relationships, her choices, and her happiness. Because panic never makes wise decisions. It only pushes her to run from the mirror, instead of learning to see herself with new eyes. A woman's value does not truly vanish with age, but if she believes the lie of panic, she will treat herself as if it has. And that belief, more than any wrinkle or gray hair, is what turns time into her enemy. The dark psychology, the market test. There comes a moment in many relationships when things suddenly feel different. It might not be obvious at first. You might only notice little changes, her pulling away, becoming distant, or showing less interest in spending time together. But underneath, something much bigger is happening. When a person feels insecure, lost, or trapped in routine, a shadow side of their mind can appear. Psychologists sometimes call this the dark psychology of relationships, the instinct for survival at any cost. In this mindset, the priority is no longer about love, teamwork, or building a future. Instead, it's all about self-preservation, even if that means hurting the other person. One of the clearest signs of this shift is sudden behavior online. Maybe she starts posting more selfies, updating her stories every day, or writing captions that sound like they are meant for strangers rather than for you. At first, it may look like a new hobby, just harmless fun. But if you look deeper, it's something else. This is what we can call the market test. Just like a business tests a product in the market to see if people want it, she is testing her desirability in the outside world. The product is herself, her looks, her personality, her charm. She wants to know, do people still find me attractive? Am I still interesting to others? Can I still get attention if I try? Why does this happen? Because in her mind, your relationship has become predictable. You are safe, you are constant, you are, in a way, guaranteed. And when something is guaranteed, it stops giving that rush of excitement. She doesn't doubt that you are there. She doubts if the world still wants her. Think of it like this. When someone is going through a personal crisis, they start craving outside validation. Instead of looking within or talking honestly, they chase quick proof from strangers. Likes, comments, messages. Each little ping on her phone becomes a hit of reassurance. Every "you look amazing" feels like proof that she is still valuable, still wanted. The market test is not really about you. It's not about whether you've done something wrong. It's about her fight against boredom, fear of aging, or the panic that she is no longer special. Yet, it directly affects you because you are watching someone you care about search for validation outside of your relationship. It feels unfair, even cruel. You have given comfort, trust, and stability. But in times of insecurity, comfort starts to feel like a cage. She is not testing the relationship, she is testing herself against the world. And unfortunately, you are caught in the middle. The danger of the market test is that it can spiral. Once she sees that attention from strangers is still available, she may crave more. It becomes addictive. What starts as a few selfies can grow into hours of scrolling, chatting, or even crossing boundaries. The more she receives, the less she values the steady comfort of what she already has. Understanding this doesn't make it less painful, but it does explain why a partner can suddenly change. The dark psychology of the market test is about survival, not love. And unless she faces the deeper insecurities inside, no amount of attention, yours or anyone else's, will ever be enough. The coven, friends who hate you. Sometimes when a woman begins to change her behavior in a relationship, it doesn't happen in isolation. It is not only her personal thoughts, but also the voices around her that shape her choices. One of the most powerful and dangerous influences can come from a certain type of friend group. Think of them as a coven, a circle of unhappy people who, instead of supporting growth, quietly encourage destruction. At first, you may notice little things. Lunches or coffee dates with her friends become longer and more frequent. She comes back home with a different energy, often restless or resentful. These meetings may seem innocent, but in reality they can turn into private strategy sessions where your partner's friends cheer her on to question or even sabotage the relationship. Who are these friends? Many times they are women who are already bitter about their own lives. They may be divorced, single, or stuck in patterns they regret. They carry pain, anger, or disappointment about men and relationships. But instead of working through their feelings in a healthy way, they spread them. Misery loves company, and when someone is unhappy, it can feel satisfying to pull others into the same dark space. This coven does not tell your partner to work on her relationship, to communicate, or to solve problems in a constructive way. Instead, they feed her doubts. They whisper that she deserves more, that she should focus only on herself, that her partner is holding her back from happiness. These words sound supportive on the surface, but underneath they give her permission to be selfish, careless, and destructive. The danger here is subtle. When one person is surrounded by voices that constantly criticize her relationship, those ideas start to take root. Even if things at home are stable, safe, and loving, she may start to see her life through the negative filter handed to her by these friends. Over time, her loyalty shifts, not to the relationship she built, but to the group that cheers her on. The coven thrives on drama. If her marriage or partnership falls apart, it validates their choices. It proves, at least in their minds, that all men are disappointing, that no relationship can last, and that their bitterness is justified. So they encourage her to light the match. They want her to burn down her own home, her own stability, and, by extension, your life too. In their world, destruction equals proof that they were right all along. It is important to understand that this influence is not always intentional cruelty. Sometimes these women truly believe they are helping. They think they are empowering her, giving her courage to chase freedom or self-fulfillment. But because their advice comes from their own brokenness, it leads toward chaos instead of healing. If you are in a relationship and notice this pattern, it is not paranoid to pay attention. When your partner is spending more time with friends who constantly complain, gossip, and tear down men, it can change her perspective. The group may present themselves as supportive sisters, but in truth, they are fueling dissatisfaction. They give her a sense of belonging while quietly convincing her to reject the stability she already has. The saddest part is that these coven friends rarely deal with the consequences. When a relationship ends, they are not the ones left picking up the pieces of a broken home or dealing with financial and emotional fallout. They clap, they celebrate, and then they move on to push the next woman toward the same choices. So remember this: not every friend is truly a friend. Some are allies of destruction, feeding resentment instead of love. They are not neutral voices. They are the social fuel that can set fire to a good life. Be aware of who has your partner's ear, because sometimes the biggest threat to a relationship does not come from inside, but from the circle standing just outside, waiting with matches. The secret life: building the escape hatch. Sometimes, the biggest changes in a relationship don't come with loud fights or broken promises. They arrive quietly, they hide in the small moments, the things not said, the truths carefully covered. That's how a secret life begins. One step at a time, one hidden thought at a time. She is building a secret life right under your nose. You may not see it at first because it doesn't always look dramatic. It starts with small lies. Maybe she says she spent a little less money than she really did. Maybe she tells you she's working late, when in fact she's not. These lies feel small, almost harmless, but they are the first pieces of a wall she is quietly building. As the days go by, the lies grow bigger. They move from money to time, from schedules to feelings. She begins to guard her phone more carefully. She goes out but tells you less about where she's been. She shares less of her heart. She may still smile and laugh with you, but a part of her is already pulling away. What looks like closeness is only habit. What looks like honesty may only be what she chooses to let you see. The biggest lie of all is not in her words, but in her silence. She lets you believe she is still fully invested in the future you once dreamed together. Maybe she still nods when you talk about plans. Maybe she still says "we" when you speak about tomorrow. But deep inside, she is thinking "I." She is imagining her own path, her own escape hatch. Every secret is like a brick. One brick does not build a wall, but brick after brick, day after day, the wall grows higher. You may feel her becoming distant, though you cannot always explain why. It feels as if she is standing right beside you, but her mind is somewhere far away. That wall, built from half-truths and hidden thoughts, slowly separates your lives. The escape hatch is not built in one night. It is made slowly, carefully. It is made of the excuses she practices, the money she saves without telling you, the moments she hides from view. When the time comes, she may not even have to say much. She will simply step through the hatch she has been preparing all along. What hurts most is not only the lies, but the loss of trust, the quiet betrayal of someone choosing distance while pretending to stay close. Her secret life is a life you are not invited into. It is a world where she is free from promises she no longer wishes to keep. And so, while you live in the house you built together, she is busy building something else, a way out. The wall of secrets grows, the hatch becomes stronger, and the life you thought was shared becomes two lives, divided by silence. The betrayal, emotional detachment. When someone starts to pull away from you emotionally, it usually doesn't happen in one sudden moment. It's a slow process, often so quiet that you barely notice it at first. She doesn't just wake up one day and decide to leave you. Instead, her heart slowly begins to build distance, step by step, as if she is putting up invisible walls. This distance isn't by chance. It's her way of protecting herself from the guilt she knows will come later. Deep inside, she has already decided the relationship is ending, and now her mind is preparing for it. This stage can feel very confusing. You notice her pulling back, but you can't explain why. She doesn't laugh at your jokes like before. The warmth in her eyes is harder to see. Small things you do, which never bothered her in the past, suddenly annoy her. She points out your mistakes more often, sometimes about things so small that they don't even make sense. But for her, these little faults become excuses, reasons she can hold on to, so leaving feels easier. For you, it is painful. You sense something is wrong, but you keep hoping it's just stress or a bad mood. But this is different. This is her heart protecting itself. By focusing on your flaws, she makes you easier to walk away from. If she can convince herself that you upset her, then leaving feels like justice, not betrayal. She may not even fully realize what she's doing. It's her mind's way of building armor before the break. If she still cared too much, leaving would hurt too deeply. So she numbs herself, becomes distant, and tells herself the bond you shared isn't worth keeping. For the partner left behind, it feels like a silent war. The conversations grow shorter, the affection fades, even sitting together feels heavy. The betrayal has already begun, not with a fight, but with a slow fading of love. By the time she finally leaves, she has already been gone for a long time. The warning signs. Stop being blind. In every relationship, there comes a moment when things start to change. At first, you may not notice. You may believe everything is still the same, that you are still her partner, her friend, her love. But slowly, something shifts. You no longer feel like the one who excites her. Instead, you become a cage. Safe, but still a cage. And when someone feels trapped, they want to escape. This is why you must see the warning signs. They are always there, but many refuse to look. Love blinds us. Hope blinds us. We tell ourselves it's just a phase, or that things will go back to normal. But ignoring the signs does not stop the truth. The first sign is sudden vanity. She starts caring too much about her looks, not for herself or you, but for others. New clothes, new makeup, extra time in front of the mirror. Deep down, ask yourself, who is she trying to impress? The second sign is her need for attention. She lights up when others notice her, laughs harder at silly jokes, and enjoys being admired by strangers more than by you. Slowly, your attention loses value. The third sign is casual contempt. Small insults, sarcasm, or irritation creep into her words. Things she once loved about you now annoy her. Each remark kills a little respect. These signs mean she has started seeing you differently. The clock begins ticking. If you ignore it, you may lose her without knowing how. Open your eyes. Do not live in denial. Face reality before it's too late. The inevitable. The truth she hides. If you don't wake up now, if you ignore this brutal truth, you will be left standing in the wreckage of your own life, wondering how you missed the explosion. What she's hiding will destroy everything. This is the truth. She is hiding the panic, the search for outside attention, and her plan for a solo escape. The woman you married is gone, replaced by a survivor in crisis. Now, you know the truth. What are you going to do about it?